of an underground.
That would be interesting. Andy Warhol and all that stuff.
Oh, and that plastic, exploding plastic, inevitable. All right, folks. I hear somebody's got some background noise. Sound like an air conditioner came on. All right.
That's me.
Okay.
I'll cut it off.
I'm gonna check mine and make sure it stays off.
You'd be surprised how much roar these little microphones can pick up. I remember Jean-Pierre. He said, "Oh, it's just a window unit," and you were sounding like roar. I said, "John, that was a really good video you made for about 9 minutes, but I couldn't understand a word you said." Let me make sure I invited him. I thought I had.
Yes.
Okay.
Very refreshing.
I know I invited him because I put a post on Beer Talk. And tonight, live from across America, Hamm since 1865. Now, is it the original recipe? I couldn't tell you because I have no idea. I just know it's made with water, barley malt, hops, yeast, and corn adjunct. And it's always been sort of a budget brand. It was a regional brand for the Minnesota area. They tried to go national back in the 1940s and 50s. That didn't really work out. The company began to fail. Their breweries began to close. And then Pabst, at some point, they were bought by Pabst. And then Pabst turned around and sold the Hamm's line to Miller in 1999. And it's been a Miller brand for 18 years. There's Jean-Pierre, the beer Rimbo.
Hey, let me get myself set up on my laptop and get myself together. I had to escape the missus and the kid. They're at my mother-in-law's, so to make my way out of there. So to do this review. So I'm about to get on the laptop and get started. So.
All right. And if I hear any background noise, I'll mute you, but don't take it personal. All right.
Never.
Okay. Who here has never had Hamm's? Bill has never had it. So you're going to get to go first. Bill's in Florida. John's coming back on the other device. I'm in Louisiana. Jean-Pierre is in Mobile, Alabama. Formerly, he's from New Jersey. John is in Georgia. William is in a neighboring state, North Carolina. And so will it be an all Southern examination? This I do not know. I don't think any California people are coming in because they're telling me we never see that beer. They did have a Los Angeles brewery at one time, but that didn't make it. And let me say this before I forget. Hamm's is bombing in Louisiana. But it's no surprise since they just stuck it on the shelf and gave it, guess how much promotion?
0.
Good guess. How did you know? You must know how Miller operates. Okay, it's about 4.7% alcohol, your typical calorie count, and whatnot. So about awards, I don't know about awards. I didn't think about checking on that.
I got something on that, I believe.
It's a classic label with the bear, and named after Theodore Hamm, right? A German immigrant, no shock. All these German immigrants brought their beer making ability to America and revolutionized the American alcohol industry with beer. And the temperance movement actually, they liked the idea because they thought beer was a good light alcohol substitute for hard liquor, which before the onset of beer in the 1840s, Americans typically drank rum and brandy and moonshine and wasn't exactly benefiting people's overall health with the massive consumption of it. Of course, people drank wine too, homemade, cheap wine brands. So, William, you want to tell us about the medals before Bill dives into it?
They won a gold in 2007, 2010 at the Great American Beer Festival, and they won silver in 2002, 2008, and 2009. So 5 years they won awards at the Great American Beer Festival.
That's interesting, but yet I think a lot of people would say this is garbage beer or whatever. We've talked about that concept before, right?
Yes, 142 calories, and as you mentioned, 4.7%. So it's right in the wheelhouse of all these other American adjunct lagers as far as the tail of the tape goes.
It's $4.99 a six-pack here for the tall, the pint cans, and they do have 24 packs in the New Orleans area, but I haven't been out there to check. It's probably inexpensive there too. All right.
I bought my 24 pack today, and I knew I didn't think anybody would believe me, so I saved the receipt. It was $9.99 for a 24 pack.
Good.
Unbelievable.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
One promising sign in North Carolina is they continue to put fresh product on the shelf as far as its longevity goes. I got this. The pull date for Miller is November the 6th, which is pretty far ahead for an adjunct lager.
Well, we don't have such luck in Louisiana because the beer's tanking so bad that they're just letting it go out of date. Now, Miller's notorious for letting stuff go on the shelf until people just won't buy it.
And mine was brewed in Fort Worth, Texas. 04 is the brewery.
I don't think we have to spend a lot of time talking about the description of the color. We know what these fizzy yellow things look like. Straw, bubbly, clear with a white head, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Hamm's is made with your 6-row barley malt, which is the cheaper malt, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, now my code says B08. Wonder what brewery 08 is.
That's Trenton, Ohio.
Wow.
B is Tuesday. So that's what that is.
I've got C04.
Yours is also Fort Worth, Texas, like mine.
So, Bill, you get this beer in your area? You've just never had it before, or is it new in your area?
Yeah, well, growing up in Michigan, I've seen this beer plenty. I've never had one. However, here in Tampa, I didn't think it was available. As a matter of fact, last week I indicated I might have to be coming in as an observer status. But credit to Miller and the product locator tool, I was able to find this at Winn-Dixie. Like it was at the Winn-Dixie that I searched up. It was first go around. However, it was only available in one size, which was a case, 24 cans, and I paid $16.99 for a case.
Huh.
A case, that's what, 24 cans? Is that 24 cans?
Yes.
30? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, good evening, everybody, again.
Hey,
yeah, they've been having a special, and I think that special might have ended, I guess probably the start of this month, but we had it throughout maybe for a good 2 months. We're selling it, a couple of Greer's Cash Savers. We're selling a 24-pack of Hamms for $9.99. So it's like, hey, you can't beat that price at all.
Yeah, that's what I got mine for, John, was $9.99 at the Piggly Wiggly in Phoenix City. I couldn't believe it. That is a crazy low price for a case of beer.
Kind of reminds you of what for those of us, or for those who live in the Northeast, what Genesee, maybe say, oh, how dirt cheap it is and how good of a beer is. For us, I guess that's kind of the same notion. Hey, $9.99, 24-pack. It's a good beer. I'm not going to complain about the price whatsoever.
No, not at all. It's a great deal, and it's a good beer. So,
hey, Brad, at Craft Beer Crew, remember I told you I had to connect to you on Google Plus, so I'm going to press following right now, and if you want that link, we can do that. So let me know. You can join us. We don't exclude people unless they don't let other people talk. We would have let Moses stay on there, but it was pretty obvious Moses wasn't going to let anybody else say a word. So anyway, that's the truth. I didn't care if he was on there. I didn't really like all that language. There's a lot of hangouts where you could hear all the cussing you want to hear, and you can get your fill of that. You can even hear about weird sexual practices, but this is not the hangout for that. We're a beer hangout that talks about beer, believe it or not, which you might find amazing. Okay, Bill, give us your assessment of this.
You hit all the high spots, right? Straw gold, appearance, had a pretty decent head on the pour, but quickly dissipated. Fizzy, got kind of a, on the aroma, it's not off. It's not off, but it's different. It has a I don't know, like almost like a syrupy, almost a sweetness in the aroma, and that follows with the flavor as well.
I got to tell you, I did. You hear me?
Yeah.
I did a taste challenge with this beer up against two others. I was very easily, and I was shocked by that. Now, oh, and Dr. Dave said he was going to join us if he could find if he could find the Hamms. So he may not have.
Well, that's kind of interesting because Hamm's is pretty much a Midwest beer, and you know, Minnesota, Illinois, pretty much. So I'm sure. Yeah, but it should trickle down somewhere near near his part of Ohio. So
I know, but another thing to take into account, did you see some of his recent videos were about driving to the doctor for, remember, the heart trouble and all? Gotcha. So when that's going on, I think when you're doing that, trying to find Hamm's is probably not top of the priority list.
Time to drink some vino. Red wine's good for the heart.
Yeah. Now, that's actually true.
The doctor says, Dr. Dave, a glass of vino.
Now, okay, so if anybody's friends with Craft Beer Crew, you know Brad, he does his videos. You can send him the link. I don't know him on Facebook, and a lot of people have told me in the past, I'd like to join your videos, and I say, okay, the first step, you have to connect to me on Google+, but it doesn't happen. So then I can't, it's like somebody tells me, hey, why don't you call me, but they don't give me their phone number. Well, I can't call you. All right, but anyway, enough of that. JC says, Hamm's is good, I like it. I can get a 6-pack for $5, same here. Craft Beer Crew said you didn't invite me, but that's okay. JC got one last week for $308 plus tax. 6-pack of Tall Boys. Good grief, that's cheap. He said, I'm in Washington and beer prices are insane. Yeah, it sounds like it, he says. And they're talking, and then in the basement says, evening, gents. Evening to you. Jacob Miller says, invite me, Ron. I'm not sure who Jacob Miller is. Howdy. Let's see, a few more comments. Expensive in Louisiana too. Wow, yeah, and dying. It's not going to be here. In another 3 months, it will not be in Louisiana. And then there's a bunch of other comments. Oh, you already connected on Google+? Okay. We'll see what I can do about that. Daryl Lee says, cheers, y'all. Now, Erica Lyons fan is here, I see. Well, kinda. Now, I'm just going to give a quick rundown because I could get knocked off at any time, right? To me, it's sweet. And it's kind of a flat taste. But to be fair, this can is out of date. Miller says their cans should be good for up to a year after the due date, you know, the Best Buy date. But it's not fresh. So, but I just find it's unusually sweet. I guess from that corn syrup, and it's kind of an okay taste, but I don't think it holds up quite. Well, it's a tie with Milwaukee's best. Premium, guess it's a tie. And with it can't hang with Pabst Blue Ribbon though. Sorry, can't do it. It's got a medium body. It's sweet. There might be a little hop action at the end to balance it out. I mean, it's all right for $4.99 a 6-pack. It's fine, but I prefer that Hamm's Golden Draft. Actually, they used to make a draft version of it, packaged draft. I preferred that, but that's gone. Miller, they don't even promote their own draft, packaged draft. Why would they promote Hamm's? So anyway, William and then John, what do you think, William?
I think this beer is very dependent on the price point. If you can grab a case for $9.99, I think it represents a super budget value. If it creeps up into the mid $13, $14, I think there are probably better options than this. I mean, it's fine. I did, prompted by your video, I did my own. I've got some Pabst Blue Ribbon. I did my own challenge, and I threw in Schlitz too. And I didn't think the Hamm's quite measured up to either of those. I mean, drink it in isolation, it's fine. I think it's crisp, clean, it's refreshing. There's a little bit of a grassy hop note on the back end of it. Maybe also a slight little bit of a lemon note. But it just doesn't, overall flavor profile, it doesn't quite measure up when you do back-to-back taste tests. But like I said, in isolation at that price point, that's 50 cents, less than 50 cents a can. I mean, it's fine.
And so, it did win the 5 medals in a blind taste test. So they didn't know what they were drinking. So you got to, that means something, right?
Sometimes with these beers, it's just as important as what they don't do as what they do. As far as they developing the all flavors and such. And that's one thing about this. There's really nothing that screams cheap beer. You know, I think it's competitive with the pack of most of the adjunct lagers. I just think there are a few that are better. And like I said, if in your area you can grab a case for like $10, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. As the price begins to creep up a little bit, you might want to consider something else of a comparable price.
It's sort of like what you would have seen Archie Bunker drinking over at Kelsey's bar, or those guys drinking at Cheers bar, right? That kind of thing.
Where everybody knows your name.
And they're always glad you came.
Yes.
Right. Hey, Eric, do y'all get Hamm's?
Oh, yeah. I can get 24-ounce can, 12-pack, 30-pack. I haven't seen 6-packs. Only in cans. I can't get them in bottles.
No, I've never seen bottles around here. I know you did the E40 Malt Liquor Monday. I don't ever watch beer reviews for beers I haven't had because I can't relate to it. You know what I mean? It's like foreign to me. Mm-hmm. But you said you thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I see.
Not anything spectacular, but I would, if I was, you know, had a couple bucks or something and I needed one, I could probably get that one. It's not as good to me as I think Mickey's is, but it's okay. I mean, it wasn't off-putting.
What beer did you review, Eric?
E40.
Okay, yeah. We doubt we'll ever get that beer here in Alabama. Very much doubt that.
Eric, can you get the Mickey's Ice in Michigan?
No.
I like that one.
I've only seen Mickey's Ice in 2 places in my life. On that lake highway in Wisconsin that goes from Milwaukee to Chicago, there's like a highway that runs right along the lake. I think they call it Lake Drive or something, Lake Shore Drive. But it's Highway 32 in Michigan, I know that. I mean, in Wisconsin, I know that. But we stopped to use the bathroom, and naturally I'm going to go check the beer cooler. And I said, ooh, they had Milwaukee's Best ice in glass bottles, which you don't see often, or bottles at all. And then secondly, they had Mickey's Ice Brewed Ale in the bottles, glass bottles. So I said, oh, no way I'm passing up this Mickey's Ice Brewed Ale. So I bought it, you know. And then I've seen it in Florida along US Highway 19. And that's it. So, okay, John and Neil, and then we'll go to William, and then we'll let Eric throw in his 2 cents because I know he's had this Hamm's before. Okay, John.
All right. Well, I hope you guys can hear me okay.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Hamm's is a great beer. It's not as readily available in my area. I had to drive about 15 minutes to Phoenix City, Alabama to get it. And I noticed when looking at the date it's outdated, so I doubt I'll be able to find it here much longer. But for $9.99 a 24 pack, it's hard to beat. It is comparable to, like you said, Ron. It's comparable to the Old Milwaukee and and of course PBR. I find that it's very similar to PBR. It just lacks that wine, that unique characteristic that PBR has. This is a little bit different in that regard, but it's a very enjoyable beer for $9.99 4-pack. It's hard to go wrong. Beer. It's just a great American adjunct lager. Nothing offensive about it. Just enjoyable and very sessionable. So it gets a thumbs up from me.
Okay. I noticed your audio was okay, but it made that little banjo sound. Are you on Google Chrome, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
I feel better now because, okay. Backwoods Billy, I'm going to put the link here. I wish I made Eric a moderator, but he never joins hardly. So, what do you think, John? What do you think, John?
Well, the day, because, you know, early on when I think maybe sometime last year, I saw all these pictures on all these different Facebook groups about hams, hams. I said, man, damn, this is a vintage beer. I didn't know anything about it, and I got to get it. So then all of a sudden, one day I was walking through Walmart, you know, looking at the beer area, you know, and holy shit, there's hams. Gotta try it. And immediately that day, bought it, did the review of it, did my research on hams, and I said that, man, this is quite an enjoyable, refreshing beer. Some similarities between this and the Milwaukee's Best Lager, but I think Hamm, yes, in terms of some of their ingredients, maybe one or few things in there, but overall, just a refreshing beer. And I'm kind of glad that Miller has put these beers back into rotation, along with the advertising they put out for the ad dollars and ad exposure for Miller High Life. And I think they're really committed, along with Milwaukee's Best Lager in this. Hey, folks, you know, we're putting out some good beers. These beers are, you know we like craft, but these beers are excellent, well made, enjoyable, and look, for the price, $9.99, or even in some places maybe higher than that, Walmart or whatever, but still, you can't go wrong with this. This is a good beer to sit on any given day. It pairs well with any food you're eating, pizza, burgers, hot dogs, whatever. It is a good, refreshing, enjoyable brew, and I have nothing negative to say about it. I think I say thank you, and I'm glad I'm trying hams.
Yeah, and I kind of like it too. I don't adore it or anything. Backwoods Billy's talking about PBR won the Great American Beer Festival gold medal in 2016. That's right, and they were so proud. And then, but Backwoods Billy says he's eating dinner right now, so he can't join. Chaz says Avita to Goza is good, guys. I didn't really like it, but I ain't much of a Goza person, but I found it was sort of. Well, what happened to Jacob Miller? He wanted to join. He jumped on, and then he got knocked off or something. Because I tried to invite Jacob Miller, and about 200,000 million Jacob Millers popped up. I was like, wow, that's a lot of Jacob Miller. Well, that's a common name, right?
Common name.
I wish, it's like Ronald Terrio. It's such a common name. I wish you could get this. See this?
Hamm's Genuine Draft.
Filtered. Oh man, when I would go to the Chicagoland area, I would buy this. Now this is the old Pabst Brewing.
He got booted out again. That's when you hear the moderator and you get booted out. Hey, welcome back.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Fix your shit, Google.
Bad connection or something.
Andy's on mute.
I didn't do that.
Sure you did. Sure.
Right.
Well, I guess I could go ahead and.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead, Ron.
On the internet, I was calling the internet a stinking rotten animal.
I'm sure you use more colorful language than that.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of hangouts that you can hear all kind of cursing all night long, on and on till the break of dawn if you want. But here is Hamm's genuine draft, and then they changed it. Oh yeah,
What the hell?
oh Jean,
It's not me, is it?
I don't know. Here's Hamm's golden draft. This was available until about 4 or 5 years ago. It was a delight. Every time I would go to Chicagoland area, when I would drive up there to see the White Sox, I would buy a 6-pack. It was $6.99. Okay, Eric, go.
Well, guys, I got a 24-ounce can. I don't know how readily available this is in your guys' area, but I got a 24-ounce can of this. I think I paid like $1.39 or something like that for this, which I've hardly ever seen any 24-ounce cans of Hamm's anywhere. But I kind of liked it. And I kind of agree with all what you guys said. It's crisp, cool, refreshing. Mine had a little bit of a skunky note to it because mine was outdated as well. It had a little bit of a hoppy note to it. I thought it was good for what it was, but it's not one of the ones I would pick up. I'd probably pick up a Miller Lite, a Coors Light, a Coors Banquet, something like that, more than I would a Hamm's. But like you guys said, for the price, I can get a 30-pack for like $12.50. So for the price, if I'm kind of low on cash, I'd pick up a Hamm's.
Right. Here's Milwaukee's best going in the glass.
Now wait a minute. Wait. We're at a Hamm's examination, and you're drinking Milwaukee's best lager.
Same company. Hey, don't you wish now, Jacob Miller,
Much more readily available.
Now, Jacob and the drunken one, I'm going to let y'all talk. Don't you? Hey, William Kepley, especially because William Kepley is like William Kepley is the beer hunter. William Kepley, don't you wish you could get your hands on this?
Unfortunately, I can't. That's one I have no control over it.
I do. I wish I could get my hands on it.
If it's not available, I can't find it.
Yeah, it was discontinued in 2005. So ain't nobody.
It was all over New Jersey. I remember at my cousin's wedding, I was one of the groomsmen. Well, I guess groomsmen. Back in '92, that beer was all over everywhere, Meisterbrow, and that was like a big deal back then.
And this one went off the market the same year, and I was heartbroken like you wouldn't believe. Look.
But don't you say they bring that back every once in a while?
That is an internet theory that some people claim, but they never provide any evidence, really. Some guy told me he was down in Southwest Texas along the Mexican border. Oh my goodness! Try to do furniture movement. Try to move furniture later. He said he was down there along the Mexican border and he saw stores carrying this Falstaff. And he said he thinks Pabst puts it on the market every now and then in an isolated area just to keep the copyright going, the trademark going, which could be plausible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He said, but then it'll be on the shelf for a week or two, and then it'll disappear. Okay, now. Gotta hold on, Jacob. Now, drunken one, what do you think about Hamm's? Go.
Oh, Hamm's is a great beer. It's fairly new around here. Way inexpensive. Great flavor. I would definitely buy it again.
All right.
I like the fact that it's so cheap. I got it. I'd never seen it before, and I tried it out, and I was like, well, this isn't bad beer for the cost.
Uh-oh. I agree with you, but a fight's breaking out because somebody just said Yingling is not an American adjunct lager. Uh-oh.
Huh?
It begs the question, then what is it?
Yeah.
Backwards Billy said the skunked note is acceptable. It is diacetyl. See the bjcb.org beer guidelines for judging beers. That's right. Craft beer.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it had a slight one to it, but I didn't think it was off-putting.
No, Brad at Craft Beer Crew says, I do like to joke about, now you see Brad, I put the link so you can come on here. Brad says, I do like to joke about Samuel Adams and Leinenkugel's advertising, laugh out loud. I always say, if you need a TV commercial to sell your beer, you do really though, you do need it because if you want to sell a lot, if you just want to sell a little bit, maybe you don't. If you don't advertise, who would know about your beer, says Backwoods Billy. Exactly. They've done no promotion in Louisiana. And guess what? Guess what has happened to Hamm's in Louisiana? Nothing has happened. Okay.
Kind of the same thing in Louisiana with Genesee, right? It was kind of the same, you know, same thing. It disappeared. And I mean, we still got it here. We still got Genesee here, but unfortunately, I can only get Genesee at 3 stores. Rouse's in Mobile, and there's in 2 package stores.
Oh, excuse me.
Package stores sell 30 packs.
They brought Genesee Cream Ale into Louisiana. Mike Pawpaw Peters told me about it. I went and bought a 6-pack. It was $4.65 a 6-pack. It lasted about as long as I can last before I get knocked.
I couldn't get 6-pack. I had to buy the 12-pack.
Oh no, we had 6-packs, but it didn't last because they did nothing to promote it. Okay, now Jacob, we're gonna let Jacob talk. He's new to the Hangouts, but Jacob,
hey Jake, how you doing?
You've been watching my channel for a little while now, huh?
Correct.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Well, what do you think about Hamm's? What state are you in, by the way?
Indiana.
Hey.
Yeah, it's $11.50 a 30-pack.
Right? Yeah, you can't beat that with a
That's a good deal. Another good deal.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
100%. 100% the best beer for the price.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, William, this will come into play in your bang for the buck concept, huh?
Absolutely. That's a great price. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, do you drink this item?
Yeah, I've got probably 4 empty 30 packs sitting in my room right now.
I'd say he drinks it.
It's my go-to.
Man after my own heart right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, no, we weren't talking about Shiner Cream Ale, Craft Beer Crew, not Spetzel. We're talking about Genesee Cream Ale, sorry. Okay, now, so if you have a bunch of 30 packs that you've drank through, that you need to say no more. We know you like it, or at least you're tolerating it, right, for the price.
Oh yeah, I mean it tastes. I mean to me, it's very similar to all the other cheap American adjunct lagers, but you know they all kind of have their faint differences. They all, I mean, they don't taste the same, but they taste different. But for the money, it's the cheapest one I can get. I like the adjunct lager taste, so I'm all in.
Wait, I think
That's about 5. They all taste about the same anyway when it comes to the adjunct lagers, right?
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is that they taste generally the same, but there are slight differences, like this.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
this. Like this.
Oh yeah, sure.
This Milwaukee's Best. This Milwaukee's Best has a distinct yeast note that you're not going to get in Hamm's. I think.
And when did Milwaukee's Best came out? What year was it? About the same year as Hamm's, or before that, when it was Gentleman's Lager, right?
Gentleman's. It was 30 years later than Hamm's, 1895.
Okay. Okay.
And then it was discontinued in 1978. And then Miller was sitting on a bunch of brands. They probably were worried about losing the copyright in that 7 years on the copyright. And so they said, let's bring back Milwaukee's Best. And in '84, they brought it back. And it's been in continuous production for 33 years. I remember when Milwaukee's Best first came out. It was at Winn-Dixie here, and it was in those 24-pack cans. And I didn't know anything about it. Just remember seeing with the wagon and the horses pulling it. And a friend of mine who was a dedicated alcoholic and drug addict, he says,
Don't talk about your friends that way.
Oh wait, he would come on this hangout tonight and admit to that. He'd say, yes, I am, but I don't recommend it. And I told him, he tells me one time, he says, don't ever smoke marijuana because I tried it once and I was addicted from the first time I tried it. He said, marijuana is my life. I said, okay, I appreciate the warning, but I wasn't interested to start with. But this guy is bizarre. He does his own video channel. He drinks, he eats ramen noodles and all. He he has a video channel, but it's very bizarre. But he's bizarre too. But I remember he came to my house one night and he was totally drunk and I kicked him out the house, you know. But he was saying, oh, I'm drunk, I'm drunk. I said, get out of my house. And he said, we're drinking Milwaukee's Best. We're drinking Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And that stuck in my head. I said, what is the fascination with Milwaukee's Best? Well, obviously the price, right? But and then 12 years later, I tried it and I said, you know, I'm not going to act like him, but you know, it's not bad.
One thing I've discovered by drinking a lot of these adjunct lagers is that there might be differences, but you might not have a preference. The difference and a preference is a different story. So right. There may be differences, but I don't have a preference. I'm going to go for the cheaper one. And I find that many of these have subtle differences, but I don't really have a preference among them. So
I agree with that. I'm going to shop price with these kind of items.
That's my rule of thumb, is to shop price on this style of beer, because the differences are subtle. And if you buy it from a major brewers, you're going to get a decent product as far as the quality control and the consistency and such. So I'll try to save the money on these brands. It's like Marishan and Nissan ramen noodles. I mean, you could break it all down, but you're going to get whatever's cheaper, right? Right. All right. Any last comments on Hamm's? Because I'm going to give y'all a rundown of what's coming up next. Hamm's is also a part of the history of the FBI. William Hamm Jr. was kidnapped in 1933. Every day for lunch, he would leave the brewery and walk a few steps over to his home. One day, these four shadowy figures showed up in a black sedan. They shoved him in the back of the car and sped off. And he was forced to sign ransom notes totaling over $100,000. And the case was solved because for the first time in history, the FBI used forensic fingerprinting, latent fingerprinting, to nab the assailants. And that's on the FBI website. This was a very significant case. For fingerprints they couldn't dust for, they used a latent fingerprint process, which they found on the ransom notes, and that's how they were able to capture the assailants and convict them. So Hamm's has a part of a criminal history also. Very cool. It's fascinating. And also, if you ever read about the history of the FBI, they were able to capture German spies during World War II in America, and it was all because of a period at the end of sentences. Yeah, they said in this case that when they kidnapped him and shoved him back in the car, that he was so calm and that they thought they had the wrong guy. He had to convince them and said, no, you got the right guy. But he was so unflappable and so calm that they were freaked out, that they thought we got the wrong guy. But as it turned out, they said he was never he was released after they got the ransom money and wasn't harmed, but said he was never the same person after that. That it definitely he had a lot of psychological issues from that, which is understandably so. Right. Kind of like Terry Melcher. Terry Melcher, after the Manson murders, he never. That was very interesting. I read that, as far as just how Hamm's was connected with a piece of forensic history. That is really fascinating. I'm glad you brought that up. That is really fascinating. Now let's see a few more comments. Back and forth. A lot of people talking back and forth. But let's see. One guy made an interesting comment. No, I don't think we were talking about Yingling earlier. But Bart Robinson says, oh, I'm sorry, Black Toe Tavern. Black Toe Tavern. He's a viewer. I like his comments. He said, do you think Hamm's will cut into Milwaukee's best sales? Yes, I do. He said, maybe this is why Hamm's is not available nationwide. Yes, I believe that's probably the case. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why cannibalize your own company, I
I think that's why you can't get Coors Extra Gold, because then if people realize Coors Extra Gold tastes better, they wouldn't buy Coors Banquet. That's why you can't get Red Dog anymore, because people started to realize Red Dog was a superior product, and there was no way Miller was.
I'll have those two pretty soon.
Yeah, I haven't seen Red Dog in a while. Come think of it. Yeah, I remember that one.
I can still get it.
Can you now?
It was so much better than your average Miller product. I mean, they'll even tell you on the website it's made with it's made with 3 different types of barley malt. It's made with 5 you hear what I said? 5 hop varieties. And it's sold at a dirt cheap price. I don't understand.
It still is kind of dirt cheap too around here.
Yeah, Miller's a really weird company, you know.
But I'm kind of biased towards Miller products anyway, so, and a little bit to Coors.
Yeah.
So do you think the price will come up if it gets noticed, if it gets some notoriety?
Yeah,
or do you think they'll keep it cheap?
Yeah, but drunken one, there's too many AALs chasing too few people. There's just so much saturation in that category, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they stand out to me, although they have no there's no commercials or whatever. They stand out to me for the price point alone.
I think that's its biggest selling point is the price point. So yeah, I think they'll leave it that way and try to create a niche for it as a sort of a bottom shelf American adjunct lager for people who are shopping for price. So I think it will die or succeed based on that supposition. I think.
Well, I think I'll make the effort to reach toward the bottom shelf and grab that up every time. I'll make that effort.
That bother me if you call it bottom shelf. If I taste it, I like it. I don't care.
That's the way they set it up in the gas stations. If you notice, there's like a common flow of traffic the way you would walk through a gas station. You always pass up the good beers until you get to the cheap beers. They want to get you drinking the Budweiser and not the Natty Light. And so yeah, right. That's just the way it is. The one that you got to walk the furthest. Same way as the men's restroom is always the furthest back. You know?
There's nothing by accident happens. That's why they put the kids' cereals on the bottom shelf in the grocery store.
Oh, exactly.
Right at eye level with little tots as they walk by the aisle and say, "Mommy, can I have some Cocoa Krispies?"
Exactly. Yep.
Right. They put Cocoa Krispies on the bottom shelf and they put Special K on the top.
And gluten fiber, crackling oats, and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I have a prediction.
Grape nuts. Yeah, what?
I think Hamm's is going to be the next hipster beer like PBR.
Oh.
I think you might be right. Yeah. I can see a bunch of college students drinking that. I think you're right.
I know down here, and this is still the case, at the University of New Orleans, and my daughter talked about this. She said the big beer parties they have down there, it's all Keystone Light and Natural Light. They are like...
they're really cheap, I bet.
Oh, yeah, they just love Keystone Light and Natural Light. All the freshman students, you know what I mean? They have no income. They're not going to graduate anyway, most of them.
If that's the case, Jay, why don't they go get a case of Rockdale Light?
Well, it's just like they're out there playing beer pong and they're eating tacos and they're eating sushi from that place on Elysian Fields Avenue, and they're gonna those are brands that are considered like national brands, Keystone Light and Natural Light, and they'll drink that and beer pong it to death, and it's still pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, give them credit. They are in college. They do know about Rockdale, so give them a little credit for making that distinction.
Yeah, I don't think they really buy that kind of stuff. That's looked at as beyond the pale, even for 18-year-old college freshmen.
Everybody's got their standards.
Right.
We were drinking Boone's Farm back then. We weren't drinking beer. We were drinking Boone's Farm.
Oh hell yeah!
That is actually literally a beer.
It is. It really is. Yeah. Although it seems like it's a wine, yeah, it really is. It's a beverage of sorts.
Boone's Farm is literally an Ernest and Julio Gallo beer. Just like all those Jack Daniels coolers, you know, and the Bartles and James, those are beers because in 1991, the United States government passed a high tax on wine. And so all the wine cooler companies immediately transformed all their wine coolers into alternatives. All right. Well, let's see. Next week I'll read these out, and then we'll shut it off because I want to go watch these baseball games, which I'm interested in.
Go Red Sox.
Actually, the Red Sox.
The same damn room.
Yeah, that game is on delay right now, and right now ESPN got the are showing Yankees and Tigers. Right now. So you know they had a rain delay, and nobody in the stadium, Yankee Stadium, man. Everybody kind of hightail out of there. Some people still there, but they kind of like peace out. I'm going home, man. I think the rain delay went on for about an hour.
The Red Sox are deep into the race. They can still make it. The Red Sox, the Yankees can make it. Detroit and the Chicago White Sox, forget that. That's over.
Look, I will say this, folks. There's nothing better like playoff baseball. Playoff baseball is exciting. And you know what? Everybody was criticizing Bud Selig, you know, getting into the Hall of Fame. I think he deserved it. I think he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. When he created the wild card, I think he brought a little more added juice to this playoffs. And, you know, right now, like I said, there's nothing better like playoff baseball. I mean, that wild card entry game, that one game, all or nothing game. I mean, last year, Toronto against Baltimore. I mean, that was just as good TV as you can get. I mean,
yeah, I know. I don't like playoffs, but I understand that the fans do, and so, I'm a junkie, you know, Jean. I watch it from the first day, opening day. I watch all the highlights. I watch every highlight. I wake up at 2:45 in the morning so I can watch all the highlights. So I got problems, but I like my problems.
I mean, I can't sit during the summer and watch baseball. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but when it comes to the playoffs in baseball, I'm in tune. Like I said, last year, I mean, all the playoffs. I mean, just when they started that new format, you know, and the one game in, you know, scenario, and I mean that's just good TV, you know.
Right. But you see what I wear on my beer reviews.
Mm-hmm.
You see all the gear I wear, the apparel.
Yeah. Right.
See, normal people do not buy 3 and 4 hats from all 30 teams.
Where do you keep them all?
Not to mention all the shirts and jerseys. I ought to make a video showing that closet, but then people would say, "Oh no, All right, it's, but I love it, you know. But it's sad. But anyway,
sad.
But I have been to games at 37 major league ballparks. How many people do you know that's been to 37 major league ballparks?
What's your favorite ballpark?
And multiple times, I could bring that up. What's
your favorite ballpark?
Yeah, it's almost impossible to say. All right, coming up, Ice Beer Power Trio next Wednesday. I already got mine in the fridge, Ice Beer Power Trio.
I got one of them I'm leaving in the refrigerator right now, and I have to get 2 more of them because those are the ones I easily can get in this area where I live at here in Mobile.
Yeah, so. You have all 3 of them?
Oh, and Eric, I wasn't trying to cut you off on the ballparks, but I could do a 9-hour endless video about Major League ballparks, so I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. Not to mention all the free parking I can tell people about, but
yep, I can get 3 of them, John. I mean,
you got 3 of them?
I can get 3 or 4 or 5. You know, I think only 5 we get of the ice beers we get here in this area.
On the 16th of August, we got the best beers, bang for the buck. The best bang for the buck.
And
on
August, got it right here.
Yeah, we already got it right here, man.
We're doing that here.
And this one too, right here.
Lucky says,
I'm drinking right now.
All right. On August 23rd, we've got Busch. Examine Busch beer. I've got it in my fridge. I'm ready to roll. On August 30th, we got the big 3 craft beers, the 3 craft beers that started it all. You know what those are, and you can check them later. I'll tell you what they are. You know it's got to be Anchor 1971.
Yingling.
And we say, I'm sorry, we say craft beers. All right. My audio must have cut out. I'm sorry.
Sierra Nevada.
I apologize. Sierra Nevada, Pale Ale 1980. Uh-oh, somebody got my script. Somebody hacked my website.
And the other one,
Russians.
Damn you, drunken one! Why do you blow up? Why do you ruin this? All right.
I gotta stay focused. You see.
September 6th. September 6th is sleeper beers that ought to be popular but aren't.
Hams.
Yeah, good old Hams.
September 13th. September 13th is examine Milwaukee's best ice.
I have to try to Memphis to get that. So
to Memphis, yeah, I should have brought you those two. And we're talking about the real Milwaukee's best, the 5.9, not that 6.9 aberration.
Have they? Did they lower back down?
Oh yes, they did. September 20th. September 20th is Ice House, not the fake Ice House, the real Ice House from 1993.
I like me some Ice House.
The 6.9 tastes like shit. Crap.
yeah,
It is pretty. It is pretty unpleasant.
if you watch my review, if you watch my review, I had some mixed feelings about that beer. I was like, okay, what they're trying to do, and
you can drink one, but
have no fear. Have no fear, Jacob. It's gone. All right. Well, this has been a fascinating exploration of the lower end.
and yes, I will buy Hams again if it's at $9 or $10.99. So
yeah. Oh, and last comment that I'm going to make, and then I'll let anybody else make any last comments. I did buy the Behringer wines. Remember, Jean, I told you they had Behringer wine. You could get it for $2.69 a bottle, as long as you bought 6 bottles. Well, guess what I did?
Well, 6 bottles. You said exploration of the bottom end. I'm thinking this sounds like a colonoscopy. Wait a second. I'm in the wrong screen. Okay.
The first one I tried was delightful. I tried the Chardonnay, and it was delightful. All right. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was the. The Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio. Oh well, same thing, kind of. All right. Any last comments?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment about the ice beers. What I had suggested was the 3 ice beers brewed by Anheuser-Busch. Do an examination of those 3. So just if you can just bring one of those 3, that's fine. I'll bring the Busch Ice because it may be other people might not be able to get that one.
I can bring Busch Ice. I can bring Busch Ice, Bud Ice, and Natural Ice.
Okay, and if you've had all 3, so everybody can just give their input about the comparison between those 3. That's what I said, like a power trio is like a three-member
William,
band.
Busch Ice by far, I think, is probably the best ice.
Okay,
beer.
that was the general consensus of what I was trying to get across.
I'm sorry, wait.
By Anheuser-Busch.
I'm sorry, wait. So the Anheuser-Busch ice
Right.
trio. Well, look what I've got in my hand.
Bud Ice.
Hey, it's in a brown bottle.
Bud Ice, Natty Ice,
Busch.
You can bring one of those 3 and discuss it.
How do you love
Bud
brown
Ice
bottle? In Louisiana, we can get Bud Ice in brown bottles. How you love that?
Yeah, in Mississippi, definitely. In 32-ounce bottles, too. We can get that.
I wish they would.
Moss Point, Mississippi.
Bottles.
Is it similar on the other side? They make 3 malt liquors, too. You got Hurricane, King Cobra, and Natty Daddy.
Oh,
Natty Daddy. I think I'm gonna lay off on Natty Daddy for a little bit. That's rough for me.
Talk about that.
yeah, that can be detrimental to your psychological. Hey,
Did it take you places, John?
What'd you say?
Did you take it? Did it take you places?
Yeah, directly. Quick step to my bed and night. Good night, I read. Sleeper.
And by the way, Jean-Pierre does a good tour guide of Mobile, by the way. I might mention that.
Downtown Mobile. And then afterwards, we'll go to the bar.
Right. He even brings you to a place that's dedicated to moon pies.
Yes.
All right. Any last Bill McIntosh, any last comment?
No, good beer, and I basically agree with everybody. I seem to have been the guy that paid the most for this, and you know, for $17 a case, I think I agree with the rest of the group. There's plenty of alternative, but this is a beer you probably ought to just give it a try and see what you think.
Yeah, damn straight.
Any drunken one? Any last comments?
No, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Okay, yeah, join anytime. Feel free. You can join the crew, you know. Hey, Eric, of course, you know, I always give you an, well, actually, everybody has an open invitation. You can even wear a ski mask as long as you let other people talk. All right.
No, that sounds like
Wait a minute. What about bandanas?
Yeah, no, that sounds like the malt liquor guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had that historic moment with Moses, and
The wrestler, yeah.
he could have stayed. I'm telling you, he could have stayed, but there was a few little problems. But
I got in a little bit late. I guess I missed that one.
You did. I don't think you missed much.
Just as well. Yeah, just as well.
Eric,
My final comment on this is go with availability and price. I mean, because they're all going to be comparable.
good comment. Good comment. Eric Brenner.
I mean, with Hamm's, guys, it's a good beer. I mean, drink what you enjoy for the cheapest price. And if it's Hamm's, drink Hamm's.
Right, but don't go watching Laverne and Shirley and expect Hamlet.
Yeah. Don't drink a Hamm's expecting
Hamm's.
Stone IPA.
Right.
Thou
Okay,
Hamm's, or
Jacob.
thou Miller High Life. Thou arts, thou Hamm's, thou Miller High Life. I want thou Miller High Life.
Right.
You can never go wrong with the ham sandwich.
All right. Shaw?
Yeah, like I said, Hamm's is a great deal. Again, $9.99. Nothing negative about it. People want to, you know, you bring it to a party, you know, I'm sure you'll get some looks, but, you know, I'm sure, you know, when they're out there playing poker or playing spades or whatever card game and they're thirsty to want to get a beer, they're going to say shit about it and say, hey, all right, this is all right, you know?
Yeah.
So who cares? Because guess what? They ain't paid for the beer. I bought the beer. So
Right, I'll take that shit when I go.
What if they're playing dominoes?
dominoes, spades, whatever, you know, poker or whatever. You know?
Rummy, what about
Just hold them.
in rummy and gin rummy? Okay.
Exactly.
And then William, you like you said, your shopping price, so you don't.
It's about time for the NFL preseason to start. So if I made a football analogy, Hamm's is not the New England Patriots,
Tomorrow night.
but it's also not the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Hamm's is somewhere in the middle, and come the 14th, 15th game of the season, they might even be battling for a playoff berth. So give it, you know, if you like this style of beer, and at the price point it's probably available in your local area, I don't think you'll really be disappointed because your expectations going in will be pretty much, people that drink these know what to expect.
So what you're saying is Hamm's is like the Saints.
Might be 9-7, you might sneak in a playoff berth, but it's definitely not the Cleveland Browns.
If you want the Cleveland Browns, then go get you some Minhas beers or some
Minhas.
or get you some Melody Brewing Company. People that tell me they've had bad beer, like they say, oh, I drank Budweiser, it's horrible. I said, no, come walk in my shoes and I'm going to teach you what horrible is. Take a ride with me to Trader Joe's and I'm going to show you what horrible is all about. All right. Or you can come with me.
You want to know what's horrible? Big Flats or Kirkland's.
Oh.
More
That would be a good topic. The worst beers on earth. All right. But you wouldn't have to watch this hangout. Just watch my reviews of Camo. All right.
Hey, I'm trying that, Ron. I'm going to try it.
better yet.
Get on.
Ready, everyone.
no,
Earthquake.
no, no, no,
Earthquake was horrible.
no, 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 no,
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
no, no,
Give it a PSA. We're ready.
no, no. All right, everybody take care.